They left that place so they could practice their belief. And that's really going for the sake of God. Because, like us now, we can practice our belief here. All praise be to God. Alhamdulillah. But there may be other places which we don't have that opportunity. And there may be other places that we can practice it better than here. And so really, the best thing we can do is if we're living in a society or in a place that it's hard to practice our religion, it may be a good idea to go to another place which would help us in practicing our religion even more, if we're suffering persecution, as would happen at the time of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was welcomed wholeheartedly by the whole community. And he made, how can I say, contracts or treaties with the people who lived there, being the Jews, the Muslims, and the non-Muslims who lived in Medina. At the same time, they had some small attacks against Quraysh, because now they've lost everything in Mecca. And they've been in persecution for 13 years. So when I'm saying they're attacking Quraysh, I mean, maybe that's not the right word. I should say that they've been given the permission to defend themselves, to finally fight back after 13 years of persecution. And they did start doing that. Now, after some raids and things did happen, it was decided, or after the Muslims did attack the non-Muslims, and they had some battles, the non-Muslims were like, okay, enough of this. The Meccans of Quraysh, they were like, let's just destroy them completely. So there was one event in which the Muslims were chasing a caravan of a man named Abu Sufyan. And it happened that the caravan got away. And he sent word to Mecca that the Muslims are coming with their army, trying to kill and take all of the Meccan goods. And they sent an army there, which comprised of about 600 regular fighters, 100 horsemen, and 600 soldiers with armor. And the Muslims went outside expecting light resistance from this caravan, and they expected to take it. And they came out with about 300 men, 2 horses, and 70 camels, of which they used to take turns riding the camels. So really they were very under-equipped to face off in a battle of this magnitude. And when they found out from scouts that what was happening, what the Meccan army was coming at them, they were like, what are we going to do? Do we stand? Do we run away? You know. And it was decided, after a consultation, to stay there in this place of the wells of Badr, to stay in this area. This is how it got the name, the Battle of Badr. This is a very decisive battle and a decisive win for the Muslims, even though they were heavily outnumbered and outgunned, so to speak, in this situation. Now, when the army of Quraysh came there, they fought with the Muslims, and there were some miracles which occurred at that time. Some of which are that the angels actually came down from heaven and fought against the disbelievers, the polytheists, and the Muslims won. The ones who believed in the one God won over the defeat of the non-Muslims. And it says in the Quran that God gave them some things at that time. Like He brought them rain the night before to purify them, and He gave them slumber, to sleep. You can imagine that you know that there's an army 3 or 4 times your number. And it out-equips you. It has all this other extra equipment. You don't have hardly anything. Maybe you have a little wooden sword or something. And they have a full suit of armor and a giant sword. I mean, it's not even comparable to what these 2 armies had. And it's only by Allah that this army won. And this is the case in all of the battles which happen with the Muslims. It's never by numbers that any Muslim can win in an army. It's only by the mercy and the victory that comes from Allah. So after this event happened and the non-Muslims were defeated, a lot of the Arab tribes and people who lived in the Bedouins, they started to respect the Muslims because they realized, well, these people are getting power. This new religion, which only calls to worship one God, which is full of goodness, it's starting to gain popularity and gain many followers. And after that, there were some other small battles and things which occurred, and some larger battles. It came one time, or sometime later, that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, had a dream about the people making Umrah, or making the visitation of the house, the Kaaba, in Mecca, the lesser pilgrimage, so to speak. And so they went to do that. They set out to do that with very light arms. They took with them just some, I think, small weaponry, just to defend themselves, or maybe kill animals, something very light. Not to fight anyone, but just to have them with them, just in case. And they approached Mecca and were stopped. And they weren't allowed to enter. And they said that, we won't allow you to enter Mecca this year. And this is something that's very strange because usually the Quraysh, the Mecca, would always let people come in and perform Umrah, no matter where they came from or no matter who they were. Because who are they to stop someone from going to the house that Abraham built to worship God? Who is it that can stop someone from doing it? But they were stopped. And they did end up signing a treaty which gave them a number of years of peace with Quraysh, or with the Meccans, who they were at constant war with. And they said, next year you can come back, and you can perform this Umrah, or you can perform this Hajj. You can come to the house next year, but you can't do it this year. So, go back. And the Prophet conceded to that, and God said in the Quran that this was a manifest victory, or a very strong victory. And from this, many, many people became Muslim. In the time that they used this time of peace, they used the time to spread Islam by telling people about Islam openly, without the fear of being attacked and persecuted by others. At the same time, the Muslims sent many letters to other leaders of the world at that time. Can you imagine now, a country, let's say the size of, I don't know, the province of Ontario, decided to start sending letters to the leaders of all the world, or sorry, even Newfoundland for that matter, of all the United States, United Nations, saying that there's a new religion called Islam, and the Prophet of Allah, Muhammad, is calling you to that religion. And this is some verses of the Quran, so please accept Islam if you want to be successful. This came to the leaders of Heraclius, the leader of the Byzantine Romans. This came to the leader of Persia. This came to the one in Abyssinia or Ethiopia, modern-day Ethiopia. And some of these people did convert to Islam. Other ones even thought about doing that or came close to that. One of those people were Heraclius. An interesting story that came from this is that Abu Sufyan was near the center where Beit al-Maqdis is, or Jerusalem, in trading one time. And it came to the attention of Heraclius that this letter came to him. And he said, okay, well, give me someone from his town. Give me someone from Quraysh, from this tribe, from the Arabs who we traded with. Bring me someone to me so I can question him to know about this man, Muhammad. And he ended up, actually, subhanAllah, Abu Sufyan came to Heraclius in front of interpreters and told him everything about Muhammad, peace be upon him. And everything he said was great. He said, okay, tell me all about this man. Who are his followers? What is he like? He said he's never lied to us. He doesn't come from, his family doesn't have kings. They don't have rulers. He's just a regular guy. The people who follow him are the weak, are the orphans, the people who need things. And he calls to goodness. He calls to one God. He calls to honoring the parents. He calls to giving charity. And Heraclius was close to belief in Islam, but Islamic tradition says that when he brought this information to his people, they didn't like that, and then he rejected the belief. Just an interesting story I thought I'd share with you. As time went on for the Muslim nation, in about the year, or around the 23rd year, I had this called Muhammad the Human. Because yes, he was a prophet, and he led the greatest number of believers. He's leading the greatest number of believers in this world right now, who call to only one God, who have a book, who have the Quran that is unadulterated. It hasn't been changed since its original form at all. It's in the exact same form. And this man, being a prophet, he dies. He's not God. God is the only one of the heavens and the earth, and he's, of course, astaghfirullah, he's above those things due to his transcendence. And he does not die. But all of the creations, all of the creatures die. And Muhammad, in his last sermon, he came to the people when in a time of Hajj, and basically said, "O people, no prophet will come to you after me. I'm the last one sent. And listen to me well, the words which I'm going to tell you." He told them about being humble, that no Arab is greater than a non-Arab. No white is greater than a black. Everyone is the same in the eyes of God, except in piety. Except the way that God looks at them in their matter of piety, in their matter of righteousness. He said, treat your women very well and be very good. And he said to them, after giving this message for 23 years, and really I've gone over this in a very short time because I've tried to cover all this stuff very quickly. He said to them that, did I, after giving all this message for them, did I convey my message to you? Did I tell you these things? He didn't say, now bear witness, I've given you my message, that's the end of it. Look at his humbleness. He said, oh people, look at this ruler, this prophet, this champion. He said, oh people, did I give you the message? Did I communicate it to you? And they said, yes. We bear witness, you've conveyed it to us, and you've